Today we've been busy, and we on Tuesday streamed. We streamed Return to Dark Tower, the Expeditions expansion, which is really great. It got us back into the game. It's one of those types of games that we will usually reserve for conventions, and we didn't get a chance to. We actually haven't been doing it lately because we've been playing another restoration game at the cons. We've been playing. We've been scheduling to play big Thunder Road Vendetta, Maximum Chrome, actually, I think most of the time. And we played it several times at BGG Spring, and maybe at Fall, I can't remember. And we are... Nikki really loves that one. That is... excuse me. That's her favorite game. Man, goodness gracious. But we really do love the game, and it was really fun to have the opportunity to do that stream for restoration. And it is I feel it's great. It does add, so I saw some complaints on the YouTube video that it was just fiddly, and it is an app-based game, you know. You would think, I'm not certain why they don't include it in the app, but there's already a bunch of components that you have where if you didn't have them in front of you, you would have to have all those. You'd each have to have a tablet to interact with it. I just don't, or pass the tablet around. I don't know. I think it's fine. I really enjoyed the game. I think they have a great. We didn't play with any expansions. We actually don't have any expansions. Our friend Daryl has the first one that came out when I think the main game came out. But he did not get the second one. But he's already backed the new one, and he added on the old campaign as well. So I mean, it's at least he'll have it. We do not have room for more games like that. But I saw the minis, and I really would love to paint them. I don't need to paint them. I'd have plenty. But it was really awesome. So I've been painting. I painted a little bit on the off stream this weekend, I think maybe, and it was really fun. So let's go ahead and I'll show you what I've been doing. So not that everybody's seen all this. Oops, wrong camera there. There we go. This is the three that I have previously worked on. Today I'll probably be cleaning the mold lines on these minis as best I can. I really had hoped to prime them today, but I just didn't have time. So I'm going to finish up Hush today. It turned out pretty good. I was really kind of nervous about the leather coat, but I think it looks great. And so I'll work on that a bit. And then previous to that, I worked on Harley. I think I did Harley Quinn first. Second? I know I did. And she's done. I think I need to paint the rim. I'll do that today. Need to do the rim on both of those. And then I got Batman. And all these I'll probably varnish. So I'll probably paint the base black on Batman. Batman's done. I'll paint Batman and Harley Quinn's base now, and then do the what I'm going to do on Hush. And then I will, if I have time, I will finish, I'll do these as well. But the one I finished over the weekend, which I had painted almost entirely on the stream, was I did finish the Joker. And, hey, thanks, Amanda. I'm going to paint the Joker. Finish the Joker. The Joker was really awesome. It was one I wanted to paint like from the get-go, but I didn't have it fully primed. I wanted his face to be more white for the makeup, so I didn't have to paint it. But I will tell you, man, the biggest hassle is the mold lines. It's not a big deal. Mostly you don't see it, but it is a little bit of a bummer. I try really hard to catch them all, and I missed it on those. But yeah, I painted some effects. I did the little graffiti. I had seen somebody else's mini because they did not have a painted one of these in the campaign. Which is a bummer. I know that I suspect that Big Child Creatives is not working with them right now. I know that they've laid off all the creatives, so I imagine that is as well. I hope that they have the book done, but I imagine that is not, so that is probably something we're going to get later. We'll see. You know, they haven't announced anything. They did a kind of a status of the company update the other day, and I already knew that because I actually follow the their page that has all the crowdfunding and pre-orders, and I don't think we have not gotten Witching Hour. I have a copy of Witching Hour that I bought from Amazon. I probably shouldn't have bought one, but yeah, these turned out great. I mean, I'm probably going to put like a bit of a satin sheen on the chemical here and the windows, the little portals, and then matte. So that was what I was actually going to prime today, and I ran into a couple things. I'll show you. It's humid here, and maybe that's part of the issue. But like these ones that I did for the Horrified D&D, I had used like a mix of satin and matte, and it was it's not. I can see it's not totally right. It was sticky. It was getting more and more sticky, and I don't know if you know, but we painted these minis came from. This is the one Nikki did. Mine is actually, I think the one I did I stripped because we got them home and they were sticky, like really sticky, and paint was getting off everywhere. That is mostly what you see here on the one that Nikki painted. It's mostly paint from other minis sticking to it, but it's sticky, and it's really kind of unfortunate. I don't know if this is the same plastic as the minis that are in the box, so that I give you that warning if you plan on painting them. Definitely do not use rattle can primer. I'm almost 100% sure that that's what they did, and it didn't do well. Now, this seems better. It still does have a little bit of tack to it, but it's not the same. I'm kind of saddened. I actually liked the glossier look to it, and I could feasibly do another coat with maybe another slightly more shiny coat. But I got to say, I'm nervous. It's not fun being sticky. The edges of this were sticky, and I didn't spend a tremendous amount of time on them, but man, I do not want them to be destroyed. I really am happy with these, and we want to play that game some more and actually maybe win. Daryl has already played it a few times, I believe. Hey, there's a spot in there that I didn't get. You can tell that's how glossy it was. I'll probably touch that up as well here. And I might, the eyes I think actually have real gloss varnish on it, and that seems to be okay. So I'm confused. Since this seems fine, I don't feel it as being sticky. It's very weird. And this Blazer Beast, he's now matte. So it was very kind of shiny before. And the thing is I knew, like I felt these bases that I primed with the matte were not sticky. So I don't know. I'm really confused. But I'm happy that they're still hanging in there, hopefully. And here, I painted this tongue with gloss, and it's not sticky. So it's weird. I don't know. Maybe my matte or satin, I think I actually used a little satin. Maybe the satin varnish is failing or something. I don't know. I cannot remember exactly the mix. I thought I put like satin and matte, because I used, probably satin and ultra matte, but not enough matte or ultra matte. I do have the Superman that I want to clean up. I did some of it already. It's okay. I'm really going to try hard to catch everything, but it is just terrible. You can't. What I really need to do is, once I've painted it black, you can pretty much see it. If I see that there's more, I should just clean up those edges and then prime it again black. I don't want to put too much on. Now, this detail's not that fine. I mean, it's great, but it's not like Games Workshop small minis, you know what I mean? For example, you look at this one here. Although it's not that bad. I mean, it's cool. Not the same kind of plastic. This stuff seems to be better priming and stuff. So, I mean, I haven't had any problems so far, but believe me, I'm paranoid. It's very bizarro that I had issues. I mean, I think let's see here. Here's one here. I did refinish it, so Captain America feels fine, but he's a little too shiny, right? I'm gonna probably matte, put a little bit more matte finish on him. It's not a bad thing to add more coatings of varnish. This one here, I actually can tell it's not as shiny. Put a, wow, look at that. So a bit that I didn't, wow, that is sticky too. Is that something else on there? Maybe? Maybe something splashed on it. Wow, I just peeled off some of the red. So that is a problem with these paints. You really need to varnish them. So I'm confused here. Maybe I didn't do, or whatever was on there. It feels like it was kind of like soda or something. This stuff comes right off. Contrast paint, speed paints, it is a thin coat of paint. It's not like a standard paint. And it will do things like this. It'll come off. So I'll have to touch that up, prime it up, varnish it up. Let's see, what else do we got here? I have a lot of minis that I have a real lot of minis that I want to paint. So it's a little frustrating. So I will paint the black on Harley here. Let's just do that base real quick so it has time to dry. You really want it to dry pretty well before you put a varnish on. I believe I did that on the Horrified D&D. Maybe I didn't do such a great job. I don't know. My wet palette, so I showed this the other day, and today I pulled it out, and for whatever reason, this was soft, and it had transferred to something else. So, and I used alcohol to clean it up, and you can see kind of like the white smeared. I might be able to clean it up, but this is weird. I do not understand what happened there. I like this wet palette. It's a cool one. It's not the same as the red grass ones. But the neat thing about this one is if you're just going to clean it up every time, who cares? It's not a big deal. I love the size. That's one of the reasons why I wanted it. It's a good size. I have been doing basically like the red grass ones, where red grass has a, what do they call it? They call it I said it the other day. It's not in my brain. Membrane, which is paper that is reusable. This is essentially vellum, I believe. And so it is reusable too. It's not as durable. This is wearing out here, and you can see kind of like it's thinning out, so more water coming through the paper than the others. That's okay. But I just am going to rotate it. But I just keep each time. So I actually ruined a sponge already, barely using it. I had left it one day, or no, probably the weekend, where I did not paint, even though I had intended to. So I probably painted something on Thursday, maybe planned on doing it Friday and over the weekend, and got to none of it. And when I opened it up, I wonder if it's in here. When I opened it up, the foam was completely, it's called hydration sponges. It was completely dotted with mildew. And I have never had that happen. And supposedly this one, and again, it was not a long time. Again, it's probably too long. I don't have any, I've never been taught how to use it. I don't know if I've watched any videos. I kind of actually wanted to read or see if there's a video on YouTube about from Game Envy. But these bits of copper that I paid extra for are supposed to help reduce that kind of stuff. And it was bad. I'm like, oh, this might be, you have to really clean the palette. I did not use bleach or anything like that. I just scrubbed it really well. But what I've been doing then is just each day I finish up, I wipe it off, because usually there's not much paint left. I wipe off the paint with a damp paper towel, one that I've been using, and then just let it all dry. Squish out the sponge, let it all dry. And so each day, it's another 10 minutes of, it's not even that really to do that, but I'm doing it on all kinds of things. It lets it dry out, and hopefully it won't destroy the sponge. Now, I already knew that I had, because I had some problems with the red grass ones that actually lasted longer. And that was one where I really had forgotten about it for at least a week. But I have 2 more sponges that I backed 4 sponges. I got 100 sheets of their paper. So I don't really need to be too worried about the reusing the paper, but I'm weird. I don't like to waste that stuff. I don't know. I mean, it's very odd. And it's not even that expensive, right? And you could actually just go buy, not vellum, but because vellum actually might not be a good right. I mean, I call it vellum, but that's probably not correct. You buy something without plasticize. You buy baking paper, and that I've used that, and it actually works fine. Now I haven't. Costco has like a huge roll of it that I would like to buy. I just don't need any. I've got so much darn stuff, but I would like to buy one someday and just see if that works. Because if not, Nikki can use it for baking. Excuse me. But it's worth it, and it's all cool. I don't mind. The sponge really bummed me out. Like, that was disturbing, and there was barely any paint on it. That was why I was like, I should just clean this out every time and not worry about it anymore. So put in a new sponge. This is the second sheet of paper since I switched everything out. I will tell you though, even though it's a bit humid, this thing is absorbing the water evaporating the water very quick. One thing you do on this paper is you put it in, and it's small. It's smaller than the shape of the palette. It absorbs water and it gets really large. You can see already, like, it's hanging over the edges. And it really seems to mostly be length. There is a little bit of growth in side to side, but top to bottom or whatever, however you got it oriented. But it's not terrible. And I do like this one. I think it's a nice palette. Here's the deal. I don't love the lid as much. I think it's a little harder to secure. And I don't know. There's neat things about that one. The main reason I really bought it was they have a vent built into it. So this is the red grass palette I backed couple years ago. This is like the second set of these that they did, series 2, maybe model S2. This is the smaller one, but they're bigger. I think both of these were bigger than the base ones from the first go. But the neat thing about these is you just press and it seals, and it does a good job. So I'm wondering, like I said, longer amount of time without any mildew. I did not have copper in there. Maybe if I use the copper weights, it might make a difference. I don't know. But I did have it where it started to mildew, where I left it, goodness, at least a week, which is, you just can't do that. And maybe 2 weeks. And that's bad. So really, you could do the same thing. You just clean the sponge and pull it out, you know what I mean? Just let it all dry out, and that's fine. Because here's the reality. The paint is not good when you go back the next day. Maybe the standard acrylics will be usable, but like metallics aren't usable. Contrast paints aren't usable. And I do put some contrast paints in the wet palette. Stuff that I want it to be slightly, it's already pretty smooth flowing and everything. It's not as watery, but it does flow everywhere. But sometimes when I'm doing certain things, I want it to be a little bit wetter, so I have done it on the wet palette, and it's been great. But yeah, you got to be careful. And I love wet palettes. I've said many times, Nikki's the one that introduced me to them. I had never, I did not do, like when I was a kid, well, I painted in college and in high school, and nobody taught me about that. Nikki's a few years younger than me, and she also went to a really great, I went to UCLA, Nikki went to Art Center. And so I don't know, maybe but that was not a thing. And I did not paint. I painted oil paints in high school. I did acrylic, mostly acrylic, when I was later in high school and when I went to college. So that's really kind of my thing. I don't like dealing with the solvents. It's just not great. So I need black. I did get, I talked to a friend of ours who's been on the show, and he works at Atomic Mass, and I said I want to change, I've been doing a lot of the Marvel United, and I was hoping to change to do something else, and I just asked if he could send some stuff, and so he sent me Marvel Crisis Protocol. So I've got some Marvel Crisis Protocol to paint, which will be fun. I'll do that. I will probably buy some Shatterpoint because that's kind of what I was hoping he'd send, but maybe they're hoping that I'll work on that. I'm going to just use the black here, even though I said I was going to use the other end. So yeah, more Marvel, which is cool. Some new stuff. The recent base game, I think from 2 years ago, maybe a year ago. And I'm excited. I've never assembled any of those minis. I'm excited to see what that stuff's like. So I'll do some of that on the stream coming up once I finish these DC Heroes United. I really want to do this on the show. Oof, paint just came out of here. What the heck? This should be closed. What the heck? Maybe, you know what? Maybe it squished out when I started to open it up. That is absolutely a possibility. It's messy. I had I painted fluorescent yellow the other day on this, and I had fluorescent yellow sticking to it, and this is acrylic paint. I could not get it off. Like, I had to really scrub. And, in the shower, I came out, still had it on my thumb, and, I used my, as Chad Roberts calls it, the thumb palette. And I like it, though. It's right here, like right as I'm getting ready to paint. But I got to tell you, this is not a good spot. My skin is getting irritated by it, and I have to actually kind of scrub to get it off. So I don't know, maybe I've got too much tooth on my fingers there to do that. So, yeah, I was watching Stolly from Tale of Painters, and he does a lot of paint reviews. I have not backed him on Patreon, and I should, because I would like to get his... he's got these fantastic... what do you call it? It's a sheet, it's a digital file of all of the paints, all shot, I believe, in the same kind of lighting. He's a photography guy. So you can see the coverage, they all are painted in the same manner. You can see the coverage. I don't know if he tells you how many coats it took to get there, but you can see colors, and I really want that because I would like to have the ability to pick some colors that are specific when I'm doing that, because a lot of this stuff I buy them and it's remote, right? I don't have any good stores anymore. The one store that we had that actually carried a bunch of stuff was in Pasadena, which is not close to us. I mean, we would go on a weekend, and we've done it a few times, but they're gone. They left. I think they went out of business 2 years ago. I think it was after we went there the last time, not too long after we went there. We took some friends and visited, and we were super bummed because it's a good store. It was a good store. It's kind of a mix, more like Warhammer and stuff like that, but they had board games and everything, and I was always buying something when I went in there. Pasadena's expensive, so I don't know if they just didn't make it because of that or whatever, but anyway, it is a bummer. So those guys had paints. They had Vallejo, they had Vallejo, Army Painter, whatever else there was a lot. It was hilarious because I was like, they don't have any speed paints. It was before I got some speed paints, and then I looked more carefully at the rack, and it was, I don't know if they have them that way anymore, but at the time they had the speed paint section was a little like kind of a window in the paint rack that you could look at the 20-something paints that they had. And I didn't buy it because I wanted that red. I really do like that red. I did not buy any of the first wave. I had some friends that had it at a store near them, and they were going to go pick up a couple bottles of things for me when they were coming to visit, and they ended up not visiting us, and so last minute changes, and so I didn't get it. And then they finally put out the Wave 2 stuff, but I would have liked to have tried the Wave 1. I don't mind what they called reactivation idea so much, right? Because it'll dry eventually and it won't be a problem. But if I were doing something over white or something like that, I probably wouldn't have had much fun. But I was tempted because after the fact, I think I bought the set I had, and I almost bought, or I was planning to, And I almost bought, I saw one at Common Ground in Dallas, and I almost bought it. I'm like, I don't need any more paints that I don't think I'm going to use a lot, so I didn't get it. But man, I got to tell you, there's so much stuff. So they do have, at Geeky Tees, they have Army Painter, pretty sure they have Citadel, and they have, Duncan Rhodes Tooth and Coats, which is cool. I have not bought any of those paints yet. And I mean, I've had the yellow wash, I cannot remember what that was called, that they had, that I think Stolly did a video about. Like, it was a good replacement for one that Games Workshop used to have. And I love some yellow stuff, so I don't have a ton. So I have these two. So when these came out 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now, gosh, I don't know. They were nice enough. They were sending me some stuff, and I said, well, you know, I might paint them. And they're like, oh, do you want the paint? So they sent me all the new shades and the second wave of contrast paints. And I've only bought like one bottle of the first wave since then, which I want to buy them all. I may have space now. I moved things around. Oh, I was going to get to another part of the whole story. But anyway, I moved stuff around. So they, and I might be able to get the remaining. I don't really need them, but there's a few. So people don't like some of the paints, and they're vocal, and that was, some of those ones are the ones I did not pick when I had the first batch of them. But anyway, I was telling the story about our friend sending me that stuff. He sent me those games from Asmodee, and then asked Monument Hobbies to send us some of the AMP series of paints that they have that look pretty great, but I was like kind of baffled by the color choices, but I think that's the point. It's not baffling, but what the deal is they are they expand upon the Monument Hobbies Pro Acryl range, and so they sent me those two sets, which I think have 9 paints each, and then the other, the main set. So I have a lot of paints. It was very nice of them, and they sent us their game. So I'll show that on a stream soon. I'm hoping to be done with this soon enough, though. But it was really nice of them, and I love Pro Acryl paints. You know, he's like, would you like that? I'm like, oh, you kidding? I love their stuff. I have, 30 bottles of stuff. So I'll have some repeats. They did not send, I think all the metallics that I have will be in there. So I have some of that stuff repeated, but that's fine. I like their paints. I need to buy their washes. I watched, Stolly's pretty interesting. He's an interesting guy. He wears a mask. He's from Germany. But he does pretty great coverage of the paints, and it's worth watching if you have any questions before buying. He's honest. His number one thing is he's like, most paints nowadays are pretty great. You don't need to spend too much. And he showed AK Interactive's new paints, and they had some a new speed paint of their own, kind of similar to speed paint anyway. I can't remember what it's called. And they his question was, is it too late? Do we need any more? There's already so many of these out there. But I would say sure, why not? Especially since these paints, it's like a whole bunch of new paints, I guess, that include the speed paints, that whatever their speed paint equivalent is, or contrast paint equivalent. They're cheaper. Now, they may not be cheaper here, but they were cheaper in Europe. And cheaper is always good. That's one of the things I'll say about the Army Painter stuff. You basically get as much paint as the contrast paints from Games Workshop, Citadel. I've said this many times. I like the, I really, really like the contrast paints. They're probably my favorite of all of these. They just don't have the color range. They don't have the metallic. Metallic is a questionable speed paint. And so, but maybe they're working on it, right? It's kind of, so where are we at? We're 6 years in. So they probably need to announce something soon. So maybe they're not doing it. Or maybe they're announcing it at Essen. I'm so sad. That's the one of the things I will miss, because last year was the Golden Demon, and we had an amazing time looking at all the painted, the submitted miniature, mini. I mean, because they're not just miniatures, but the dioramas and stuff like that. But war bands, and it was amazing. But anyway, maybe they'll announce something there. I don't know that they do as much of that there. We were told about some stuff that ended up launching. I think it was Warhammer Underworlds that ended up launching like 2 weeks later. It wasn't like he gave us that much heads up on it. And the reality is, it's probably out there. Everybody already, most people probably knew. I still read stuff about that, but I don't pay as much of attention of it, because I cannot buy more. And I would love to have more of that stuff. I love Warhammer Underworlds. I love the ones that I have done so far. I would love to do them all. But I just cannot afford it. I mean, I can afford it, but I can't. I don't have the space. I don't have the time. I need to get faster, and I'm relatively fast. I mean, my standards aren't like competition level, but I do want them to look pretty nice. I'm not 100% satisfied with all these, because I mostly will just kind of move along and not stress it so much. I'm thinking about trying to shoot some shots for the thumbnails on the YouTube videos, just so that it's a better representation of what the heck I'm doing, even though sometimes I barely get to it. And I talk a lot, so not everybody's going to want to see that. But anyway, kind of painted that too soon, but we'll see how it goes. Because I actually want to paint some highlights on his coat, and maybe some on his shoes. Yeah, it's been great. Really been great. We've had, it's actually kind of nice because it's cooled down here. It's a little warm today, but next week we're actually going to have real fall weather. It feels like fall now, but it's not necessarily reflecting in the temperatures. But it will probably, because usually we've had some warm, we had some real warm stuff at the beginning of the year because of those fires that were near us. But usually October is when you're going to get your last of the summer heat, but who knows. That's got a little hair. So that was another thing. All the things I was doing before I got started that kind of conspired to me. You don't know if you can see it, but there's one brush hair that's poking out. And it probably won't affect things, but it drives me crazy. So I've had this hobby knife. It's from Handy, I guess it's called the Laser Blade. These are long gone. I don't know if I even saw them for very long, but I will tell you, I love the shape of it. Doesn't roll off the table. It is plastic or nylon or whatever the heck they make this out of. PHC is the company. But this, I was unscrewing it and it snapped the good gosh. I know that don't use it all the time, but anyway, it's the chuck, but it's a weird. I imagine that's what it is anyway. But it broke, like it snapped, and I'm like, oh man, and it's a bummer too because I would like it to be metal, but what I did is I took it apart and pinned it. It's not perfectly straight, I'm seeing now, but I think it'll work and it's flexible, right? But there's a piece of paper clip that runs all the way through it, and I just did the whole thing and super glued it, and it worked great. So I'm hoping this continues to work because I can't replace it, and I do like the red and the black. It's awesome. So I mean, I have lots of X-Acto brand stuff. but none of them are as like, the lids aren't as positively connected for me on the ones that I have, and they definitely roll on the table. I do have one that the lid kind of helps you do that, stop that, but the lid does not stay on very well. It's weird that they would make something where you have this super sharp pointed blade, and it's like, oh hey, you could probably just stab yourself because this thing falls off. But this really sticks. It's too bad. I think this is a great design. Again, it would be nice if maybe just the chuck was plastic, metal that loaded in here. It might strip the thread. So there's a thread, it's threaded and goes into here, and that's it, all it is. I actually had to extract, so it snapped inside here and I had to extract it, which I think I just kept. I used a kind of a funky little flat blade that I had that had been chunked up, and it was tight enough, like had enough grab on the piece that I was able to thread it through. I think it went out this way. And so it looks like it's working, but yeah, another thing to distract me from doing what I really kind of needed to do. But again, I mentioned I don't like throwing stuff out, so if I can fix it, I will do so. And this seems to be pretty good. I don't need to over tighten it. The problem is I think I just did it there. I think I don't know the direction. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe I went the wrong way, except it came out. So no, I think it must have just broken, because it would have snapped inside there. And the blade came out before I realized. I'm like, oh, wait a second, this isn't right. Actually, it came all the way out. It was the Casa Boo night event for October. Oh, no, neat. I've not Casa Bonita. I have not been to Casa Bonita for 40-something years. We have met Trey Parker before, and we exchange emails occasionally, and I would never ask him to get us into the place, but I would like to go. It would be awesome someday, and it would be fun to go to Colorado. I haven't been to Colorado for 25 years. My aunt still lives there. We should have gone for my other aunt's funeral. It was terrible. She passed away during the pandemic, and not pandemic related, in that regard, but still not great. And my mom actually started, I think it's 3 years ago. My mom hurt herself, and she was staying with us, and we just couldn't travel with her. So that was a downer. But I will tell you though, the wet palette, this is what makes them good. You shouldn't be carrying the paint over to the next day, but what really is great is it keeps the paint wet, for me anyway, the whole time I'm working till I'm done. And that is a problem with my standard palettes. They just don't work. It's just too dry here. Oh man, I would love to go to Casa Bonita. So they have a couple of the custom Casa Bonita pinball machines that are, I need to watch that documentary. I think that's on Paramount, about the restoration of the place. I heard it was crazy. But they have a couple Casa Bonita machines, and I don't know if they're entirely made by Stern, but they are Stern. I think it's whatever game they used for, maybe for Pabst, or no, maybe it was for, I don't think it's the, gosh darn it, let me think about it. I bet I could look it up. It might be on the pinball database. I want to know though. It looked amazing. I was so knocked out. Let me go to the pinball database and find out. Or Pinside. Pinside's cool too. I am signed in. Wow. Okay, so search Casa Bonita. 0 games. Am I misspelling Bonita? I am not. Hey, but there you go. Location. 38 days ago. Getting pinball added to the arcade with the addition of a custom theme machine. Want to know if anyone played it? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, there it is. There's pictures of it, I think. Oh, no. Oh, Whoa Nelly reskin. But this is some weird little mini thing. That may make... So yeah, a friend of mine grew up in Tulsa where they had another Casa Medina. I never went. I think it was still open the last time I was in Tulsa. It's funny that they built it. You know, I think I saw like a trailer for that, or they bought it. I think I saw a trailer there saying it's like buying Disneyland, you know, which I totally get. I mean, I flipped out when I saw, when I saw the Casa Bonita episode, and because you know I grew up, loved it as a kid, and it was amazing, and it was good. I mean. It was Colorado good. Not that Colorado doesn't have good Mexican food, especially now, but you know, maybe it was the environment, but I remember having an amazing time. They had cliff divers and all this crazy stuff. It was so fantastic. They have really cool costuming of pinball. So if it's Whoa Nelly, that's interesting. So they do that a lot. Stern will just do a redo of a machine, retheme, and I'm not sure that Stern did these. They might have. You know, they did the Data East one, and the Data East one was people that Stern came from Data East. I don't remember who the other company was. Sega. So I think all those are related, and they bought Data East because it was Sega, then it was Data East, and then I think they bought it, and they were manufacturing the machines still once it became Stern for a while. The machines I'm talking about though are, what was the machine that was the turn of that stuff? Oh, well, South Park was one of them. I've only played it a few times. When we did go to their studio, I desperately wanted to play, but I was not, you know, like, I'm sure they would have said yes, but I was like, it's in an office. But it was amazing. So we had just got, when we went to that studio, we had just bought our pinball machine, which is a Munsters, and I really love it. Munsters is amazing. Oh, I was pulling that knife out to fix this blade. I get distracted today, which is fun. Having a good time. But yeah, it's so awesome. You know, that was like post me paying attention to pinball, so when it came out, so I didn't get to play it till a few years back. Actually, around that time, there was a place that has it, and it's weird too. You know, they a lot of these places. So the one that we mostly go to, don't think it was that though. Is the one that we mostly go to is, where's Leather here? Leather. A place called AYCE Gogi, which I had no idea what the heck AYCE meant, which it is all you can eat. I was like a knucklehead when I heard that. I'm like, oh, I'm a bonehead. Oak Brown. I don't think I have a Leather here. Maybe I do. No, Desert Yellow. Maybe that's the color though. Anyway. But yeah, I got to try it, and I might have been at that place. I don't know. Hey, Cersei. What is the name of that and brand of that knife? That knife is, again, I don't know that you'll find it. You might be able to find one on eBay or something. It's called Handy Laser Blade from PHC. If you find stuff or cache of them, let me know. I'll buy another one. But also stores a blade too, which is really awesome. Let me put a blade in there. I have one right here that's still relatively sharp. Actually, you would probably stick it in the back way so you don't stab yourself. But yeah, you can store a blade in there. Pretty awesome. I mean, I've had some others that store blades as well, but not like this. And I just, my problem is I would, you know, pulling this out, it's scarier. But one of the good things is if you go this way, I don't know if it's solid enough. No, it isn't. But you could scrape with this. So this is actually, the back end of these things are great seam scrapers. You know, if you could, I don't know, I don't think they're going to fit in. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much tight. Maybe it'll go in. Let me see if I'll try going backwards. Man, I keep going the wrong way. So it's clockwise to take it out. I do not know that I have that in my brain. Yeah, I mean, you could, let me see if I can go a little bit clockwise to go further out. That's about it. You know, it's actually not very long in there, so that might be, but you could flip it around with this, and you can use it as a seam scraper. It's great. It's not too, you know, yeah, you get poked, but it's not going to, unless you really rake it against yourself, you're not going to run into too much trouble with it. But yeah, these are great. It's really great. I wish I bought more back in the day. But yeah, I think I looked for it a couple years ago. It was one of those deals where it like came out of my toolbox for my hobby toolbox and another hobby toolbox, like I need more. And I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that knife. And oh, you want to tell me something? What's up? Yeah, I want to make this so we can't get stabbed. But yeah, it's cool. These are nice. And really the lid is the best part. I mean, there's got to be some others out there, but this does not come off that easily. It can come off, but it latches into these little channels here, and it takes a little bit of force, so it's not going to easily come off, and you're not going to poke. I have not poked myself with this. I have poked myself with plenty of the other ones. Let's see here. So I'm going to try that one color, probably thin it down a bit. Amanda, who chatted on Twitch, I don't know if she's still there. She has a new, she is our new host of the Board Game Geek podcast, and she's going to be interviewing Nikki tomorrow. Nikki's been on that podcast with Candace a couple years ago. I think she was on before I was on. I was on for like, and you know me, I talk too much about two-player games. And we were supposed to, I don't remember, we were supposed to come back, and we did, and it took us a little while, and we're still off. Once we kind of get through all the tons of projects we have going on right now, we plan to do some more of those. Oh, you did say it, but it got pushed down. Oh, you had a friend on not too long ago, and the pronunciation of my name came up, and that I wouldn't say. But you did say it? Okay. I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind calling you seriously either, but it doesn't look like I don't know why. I mean, that's me phonetically sounding it out. Tell you something. You had a friend on not too long ago. My name came up, and that I wouldn't say. You just didn't want to. I didn't say you wouldn't say. Maybe I said it that way, but I meant that you wouldn't. It was probably too much hassle to do over the over spelling it out, you know, phonetically or whatever. Oof. But yeah, I didn't mean to say that you wouldn't bother. You wouldn't do it. Okay, a little bit of that paint. I always now poke the stuff out. Gosh darn it. I do not want to squeeze too hard, but it sure looks like it might. Still sealed for $20 and $8 shipping. Came from Michael's in 1982. It was originally $4. Oh my gosh. I am not paying $20 for one. Hey, but I've kept this one alive. It did not have to go into the trash. So sear a steak, and the end like Kirk. Cirque. Okay, like Douglas Sirk, kind of. Awesome. I will say it that way now. Boy, it's got, you know what? I don't think this is mixed up enough. And this is crazy. This is what's about all these paints. You really, so I think I shook these bottles a few months back. And you have to shake them. You really need to, like, I need a kid. I need a kid to shake the bottles for me. We did not have children. Have my little workers, home workers. Now let me see if I remember this, Cirque. If I should. I'm pretty good with names. But yeah, we have all these little things, and I have 100 bottles of paint here, more than probably 200 bottles of paint that need to be shaken all the time, and some of them just really clog up. The pigments are too heavy. So let's see here if it'll go now. Yeah, a little bit, but yeah, it's pretty thick, which is weird. This is top up. Like, what is the deal? And this is my first time opening this one. Maybe, did I do it this? I did it this way though. Let me do it both ways. Yeah, it's funny, you know, it feels like Halloween. I hope Nikki will decorate. We don't have kids that come around here though. We used to do it every year, and we would have candy, and we actually went above and beyond to try to get, you know, to give kids candy, but our neighborhood does not have a lot. There are children around, but wow, this is thick. I don't want to push hard because it'll just squish it out. And I don't need this much paint, so I shouldn't just worry about it. But I might need to do some work. But yeah, these are weird. Like, I don't know how well this bottle, the dropper top, stays, but some of these, it falls out way too easily. Oh, you know what? Did I buy the stabilizer? Yes, I did. So the stabilizer is, I don't know if it's not a medium. It's kind of like a, I don't know. I was hoping to find medium. Wow, contains massive, some crazy chemicals. Does this say non-toxic? Not that I eat my paints, but this one does not say non-toxic. May produce an allergic reaction. So I will thin it a little bit here. Wow, that was one drop. Might be too much. But yeah, I had to order that, I think. I don't know, it's so terrible. Like, we just don't have the places nearby. We have a store that Daryl goes to, and we go to occasionally, and he'll have them order things for him, which is great. I generally, when I go in there, I need something soonish, so I just would either order it from Amazon. But we want the stores to survive. It's kind of my habit to, whenever we go to any gaming store, to buy something. Not that my one sale will keep them alive, especially if I only get over there a couple times a year, but it's really important. We don't have a lot of them around, and Amazon's fine, but they certainly don't care about the stores. It's a weird deal. So this may not be the right color. Pretty yellow. Yellow ochre-y. So I need a drop of distilled water, which I went in here. Hey, Bishop Aries. So I right now, this is Hush. He is mostly done. I want to put a little bit of edge highlighting on some things, and wow, that brush is not looking that great. And then I'm going to varnish. And I have Batman, who is really ready to varnish, and I have Harley Quinn, wherever the heck she just ended up, over here, and she's ready to go. I painted her base, so I'm not sure how much I love the paint job on that base, because there's like this weird, you know, it's broken tiles, or the edge of the tiles. So I didn't paint. I probably should paint a little bit of dark. I might paint a little bit of basilicanum gray in there to do the grout. But I want to varnish these. I showed a little bit earlier the horrified D&D minis that I painted, and I had problems. Wow, you can see it's a little shiny in there too. It's hard to tell, you know, because when it goes on, it's wet. And you really know when you've got it right when it's no longer wet. Let me do that too. Actually, no, I'll wait on that. I want to be able to put those away. That's my concern, is if I put them away and they stick to stuff, it'll be a bummer. So, and it's a bummer. That is, I don't have cabinets to, Nikki wants to give me something like that, but I don't really need it. But yeah, I finished also the Joker. This was last week I was working on it, and I finished it off. I still would probably want to do some edge. I mean, I did some here, and I'm not real satisfied with it, but I may give it a wash of the purple just to tone it down a bit. But yeah, I'm really happy how that one turned out. It was neat. It was one I wanted to do Batman and that one. And I really want to do Harley Quinn. I think it was going to be my first one. And it's fun. I think I need to, her mouth is a little, she's got like lipstick on her teeth, which, hey, maybe that's probably Harley. So let's see here. This might be too thin. I mean, not too thin, too dark, or too light. Let's find out. But I usually kind of, you want to do these things kind of quickly. Yeah, maybe that's too thin. We were watching at lunch today. I don't think I own it. Escape from LA, which I had not seen many times. I love the original movie, Escape from New York. But I did not really care for it that much back in the day. And we were watching just some of it while we were, I don't even know where we started it, but we didn't start at the beginning, because it was on cable. And goodness gracious, it's probably too thin. Maybe I need a smaller brush. But it was pretty terrible. I mean, it's fun, but not like one that I need to watch often. It was kind of cool to see Pam Grier. I like her, and I love Jackie Brown. And that was the year before Jackie Brown. I'm having it's a little thin, which it'll probably mean it will darken up a little bit when it's done. Too thick, I mean too wide, not thick. The paint is too thin. I really hope they do more. I mean, I don't really need any more stuff, but I really would love Star Wars United. That's the one all of the Star Wars Rebels, no, not Rebels, Rivals, kind of has the look of these, and they're painted. So there's a fan-made Star Wars United out there that looks great, I would like to play that, see what it's like, and we have some of the Rivals. We were invited to an event in, I feel like it was 2023. It had to have been, because I'm pretty sure, I don't know. We went to an event at the Cantina, Scum and Villainy Cantina, which I had never been to. That was really fun, and played the game and got given some stuff, and I think we got some stuff maybe elsewhere, a box or two. We had, so we knew folks at Funko. They're mostly not there anymore, and they said they could maybe send us some, but we tried to, actually, you know what, I don't think we bought any. We tried to buy some, and it was all at Walmart. I don't know if that's the case anymore, but and it was sold out like all the time. And you know, it's blind box, so that's not my favorite. I was gonna try to buy stuff on eBay maybe, but it was weird. I don't remember what the deal was. I looked at it briefly and then balked. But yeah, it would be fun. I would love it. That's the thing. So when I met one of the main guys at Funko back in the day, probably 5 or 6 years ago, he said, it sure would be fun that if you guys could do some Star Wars stuff. And he's like, never say never. Because, you know, they already had licenses, but it was like Hasbro kind of had that stuff in the United States. And they still do stuff. But for example, the company that CMON does these with, Spin Master, they actually have Star Wars licenses, so they could do it. Be cool. Yeah, I really wish we were going to Spiel, though. Things have changed, and we have probably it would benefit if we were there. The problem is Nikki she's like, if you have to go, because we thought about like maybe trying to do it. She didn't want to go. She has too much family stuff, and it's bad for my mom too. My mom really does not like me being gone for 2 or 3 weeks, and it's fair enough, you know. She's getting up there, and I try to call her regardless when I'm on the road and everything, but it's still not great. We're gonna still be gone like 9 days for BGG Con, but it should be okay. It's tough. I was actually making it shorter, but Scott was asking if we could come a day earlier. It's hard, you know. The con is now, it's always been pretty long for a while now, and then spring is actually long too. Thanks so much, Bishop Aries. The game is great, and I'm really eager to play this one. I'll see if we can get Aaron over. He did not play it with us originally. This was Mike and Dave and Nikki and I. But it's fun. I've played we played a few games where I painted the minis. We did, pretty sure we did it for, because I was rushing to do those. Well, actually, so the people that did, what is it called? I'm saying Fire Span. What is it called? Anyway, I'll remember it in a minute. Dragon Game from Cardboard Alchemy, I remember that. And Flamecraft. That sounds right. They gave me the minis, and I was like, all right. So I was going to paint them, and so I wanted to paint them for the episode in time to do that, so I did. And it was great. You know, I love it. I love having... I want to encourage people to paint. I think it's not for everybody, I get it, but it's a fun, and especially if you're a board gamer and you have lots of minis, it's kind of rewarding. You know what I mean? I'm not doing it all for the praise, even though it is nice when people say something about that. I know that I like them, and it's one of the things I appreciate about this stuff, so I want to do that. But it is very weird not being either on our way or there already. We've been in Germany. We were in Germany in September, and I fractured my heel last year at the beginning of September. I cannot believe I went to Germany with my ankle as it was, and I hurt myself there, which was a real bummer, because they don't have. There's a weird, like, not thinking about. You guys have the the escalator down, or and no elevator on that corner. Now there's other corners. Usually there's, a lot of the here in the United States as well. There's multiple entrance points to the same subway station, and there might be one over there. But like when I'm having troubles getting around, needing to travel even further, I didn't have a wheelchair. I didn't want Nikki pushing me, so I got a knee scooter. And it was challenging. It worked. I was very happy that Brian had recommended it, because before, I think maybe when it happened, because Tashi had to have one. And so when they came over, she was like riding it around and was like, oh, I guess she had fun on those things. I don't know that she had fun, but it is helpful. But it was not great. Also, like the first week that we were there, we were visiting a friend, and I was just stuck in the room. I came out and stuff, but mostly I was just trying to stay off my foot. And thankfully, the airline trip was mostly good. We flew SAS into Copenhagen and then into Germany, and they were great. They took care of me. And a little more than I needed. I'm like, I could probably get into the plane, no problem. But Germany, on the other hand, nothing. We got to, now, we didn't make arrangements or anything like that. It wasn't that late in the day, but we went to Nikki went to the kiosk, and there was nobody there, and the wheelchairs, I think, were locked up. Or maybe there were none there, I don't remember. And sadly, our luggage carousel was the very last one. So you come in at the very first one, and we had to walk all the way down to the last one. So it was just not great. But still, I had a great time. We played games and stuff at our friends, but I couldn't go anywhere, couldn't shop. I'm weird, and I love to go to the grocery stores in the other countries. It's fun. So that was that, and it was not a wonderful experience 100%, but I still had a good time, and I miss it. So it is going to be a bummer not going this year. But we already knew we had a lot to do, and our parents, and so we didn't go. We plan on not going, but we kind of need to, business-wise, go. I've tried to book meetings. We did meet some folks that we would normally meet in Germany at Gen Con, which was great, but I'm getting emails every day. Oh, you guys, can you make it? No, we're not coming this year. Brush is not so good. I mean, it is getting tired, I think. It's developing a bit of a hook at the end, which is not ideal, but plus Pinball Expo is next week, and I've never been to that. I would like to go. But when we needed to make that decision about going, it was going to be basically right up against Spiel, if we were going to go to Spiel, and I kind of wanted to try to do that last year, and I just realized it was not going to work out, and it's probably going to be the same. Last year it was Spiel was before, and we went to visit our friends Annie and Sebastian. We ended up staying with them a little longer than we might have because it was so expensive to book a flight. I don't know if I think it was a German school holiday, and that might have been the reason why people were returning or something like that. Because the cons sometimes, I believe it's like synchronized with the school holiday, sort of, and it's weird because it's not always the same time. So it is related to something, which is pretty funny. Related to something, don't know what it is. Okay. What is this color called? It probably says on the bottle. It is strong yellowish brown. It really looks like an ochre. This brush needs to be cleaned. Snacks, oh my gosh. So even, I do love snacks from different countries. We were subscribed, Dave actually gave it to us for Christmas a couple years, I believe. The Universal Yums or something like that. It's pretty awesome. So each month they give you snacks from a different country and information about it. It was really awesome. But it's a lot of sweets. And I'm not a sweets guy, and Nikki doesn't want to have them too much. So we did them, slowly. But he was saying, I don't think I'm going to get it. And it's totally fine. We don't need it. We like it, but we don't need it. But one of the things I love, which just baffles me, is Pringles in Europe are pretty amazing. Like flavors we don't. Now we are starting to have interesting flavors, but of course they don't stick around. Now they also do Pringles. I don't remember who owns them now. Is it Kellogg or something like that? But might be Mondelez. But they have had these amazing like Thai curry, and they have that kind of stuff here sometimes as well. Frito-Lay does some stuff. We're weirdos. We always like to try the odd flavored stuff, and all that does is just means that we're going to be sad, because it all started, I think, might even been the beginning of us thinking about these kinds of things, was they did a wasabi, gosh, what was that one? Ginger. Wasabi ginger, and this was like a contest that somebody won that flavor submission, and we loved it. I don't know that we even got more than one bag, maybe another bag. But we should know, they had these curry ones, two different curry ones, one that was Thai and one that was Indian. Oh my gosh, they were so good. Our friend Sean did not care for them. I was like, oh my gosh, what are you talking about? But we love that stuff. We're weirdos. Ugh. But I'm a savory snack guy, and there's Germany. There's a lot of great stuff like that. Plus, there's just all kinds of great stuff. We are huge fans of the standard, like their breads are just crazy. I know there's good places here, but not like in Germany where you just go to the store and they have great bread. Like really cool, interesting breads that are just so good. Okay, well that looks pretty good. Let me do a little bit of highlighting on his leg. Oh, I also have another thing. I like that vintage collectible. I like that they give you 2 extra blades. I mean, they're standard blades. I'm using X-Acto blades for this. That's pretty funny. Interesting. So there's like a bit of, I did not do that, but it looks like the same color that I just washed in here. So that means that this paint is similar to the leather one. I wonder if I should put a little bit, gosh, I don't remember if that was I think it was the snakebite leather. It doesn't matter. It looks cool. No need to worry about it. So a little bit of gray, I will use the bright neutral gray. I want to buy all of their grays as well. I really love this bright. There's like a dark one, and I don't feel that this one's neutral enough. It's a little warm, but I mean, it's not really that bad. I'm particular. So this is a different one of their lids. It's okay, but it also can just go too far and snap around and come around. And I'm like, I feel like it should be threaded a little heavier. I don't know, it's weird. They really try to give you, they have different kinds. They have a flip top one, they have the twist top one, and then they have these kind of eyedropper ones. I don't have any of the flip top ones, but flip tops are okay. I tend to make more of a mess. And my thing is so, you know, it's like, oh, well, who cares if you waste paint? It's not the wasting the paint part. It is the paint drying in the tip. And if I'm going to airbrush it, I do not want it to, any of those paint flakes to go into the paint. You know, it's much easier to wipe it while it's wet than it is to wipe it while it's dry, but I just wish it wouldn't even do that at all. So yeah, I need to put a little bit of gray here because I got some of the brown on it. So let me just do a little bit with the water. Probably need another drop of water since this seems to have a lot of brown in it. I have found that it's not that hard to touch up. Isn't perfect, but it's not too hard to touch up and have it be, you know, these are all, unless it's some giant smooth surface, you almost wouldn't notice it. Now, of course, these are going to be, it's going to be too dark. But it's not that hard to mix, you know, I mean, I don't know, maybe some people don't see it as easily, but it's not that bad. I am disappointed that I got brown paint on there. I didn't notice it till today either. But I mean, you're not going to probably see that. It's a little light here. Cool. Okay, I could probably just use that for the little bit of highlight I want to do on his knee pads, whatever's going on there. So most of this, I'm just applying it on the edge. You can, I mean, you see me draw some of it with my hand, you know. I say confidently as it's not going down, but I think that paint is not the right level of flow. But we did see in the Escape from Los Angeles, we did see Bruce Campbell, which I had forgotten that was the part he played. Like, is that Bruce Campbell? Because I remember him being in the movie. I'm a huge fan. And Nikki's like, yeah, that's him. I'm like, wow, I don't remember that. It's been a long time since I've seen it. It is close to Friday. I hope people have some fun stuff coming up this weekend. We are not filming. We do want to film something with Aaron. I actually need to reach out and see if he's available next week, because we're going to do something with 3 players. So to kind of make it's kind of rough. We've been doing lots of stuff with 3 players, but we want to play a game and maybe control the length of it by having fewer people play. Well, he looks good. I'm done with Hush, in my opinion. Harley is mostly done. What was I going to do to her? Oh, I was talking about putting some gray into the grout. So I will use Basilicanum. I will use the crappy bottle. I have like one that's getting close to being done that I spilled. The one thing about this one is it comes out a little shinier. I'm not sure what happened. It's very near the end. But I mostly use it as kind of a wash. And I do have 2 bottles of the regular the non-spilled Basilicanum Gray. Okay, so I am going to put it in the wet my fidget popper palette, which is great. I will probably put a little. I actually should do that first. Hey, I got paint on it immediately. I wonder if I'm hitting the top here. I don't know, but I want to use. Although it's not a problem, I can use the contrast medium and still do the paint. But I like to not mix them up. I also don't want the regular paint, the paint in the contrast medium, because the contrast medium needs to go in all the colors. So I don't need a lot of it, but I will put a little bit in here. And then hopefully have enough for the whole project, the whole job. But yeah, I did get super glue on my finger. I thought I burned myself. Got super glue putting that together. Huh. I have not used the compressor that much. I actually turned it on last week and you guys said you couldn't really hear it. It is not loud in here either. It's amazing. It's just too expensive. If they made a smaller one that was maybe, I understand it can't be too inexpensive. But in the $400 range, I would probably say, if you really want to do airbrushing, it's probably worth buying it. I just am a lunatic. I have bought 3 airbrushes over the last, compressors. I have lots of airbrushes over the last 15 years. About. One of them actually is great. It was a Harbor Freight Fortress. It's good. It's not quite enough in here. It'd be fine if we were doing some work in the house, because we did some cabinet stuff recently, which was one of the things reason why we didn't want to be gone. We wanted to work on things like that. We just don't have the time to do it. I'm sorry, I should paint that on. As you can see, I realize I have the gray here and I kind of want to work on this a little bit more. Don't know if you can see it, but there is a pretty good hook there on that brush. Now, I was using it to my benefit in that case. Not fantastic, but okay. Yeah, one of the reasons why I want to go to Pinball Festival is they have Texas Pinball, I'm not Texas, the Pinball Expo, is they announced the new Star Wars machine. It's just getting out there, and it looks amazing. I would love to play it. Scott has played it. He liked it a lot. I really enjoyed the old one that's now 8 years old or so. I think it probably came out, I would imagine, this time, but I don't know. Seems like a Pinball Expo release. It's crazy that they're doing another one. I mean, because they had a Mandalorian one not too long ago, which isn't officially Star Wars, I guess, but it is close enough in my opinion. I mean, it is Star Wars, but it is not a Star Wars machine. That seems like it's going to be too dark. Gosh, my hair is everywhere. Okay, so I want to just get it in some of these edges here in the tiles. It's absolutely not necessary. Let me just see how dark it is by putting on my fingernail. It is too dark. Way too dark. So a little bit more. First of all, probably a little water. It's a little thick because it's the end of this bottle. So 1 drop of that. And then the thick contrast medium that's near the end of this bottle. I do plan on taking, I put the agitator ball. This is one of the ones, you can see it's a little green piece of glass. That is one of the ones I got from Monument Hobby a couple years ago. I still have many left in the bag, but I will pull them out every time and keep reusing them so I don't have to buy them. The glass ones will definitely survive. I don't know about the stainless steel. I'm always nervous about it. I have all of the new Army painters come with 2 stainless steel mixing balls, which is really awesome. Totally worth it. Oof. So should I use, I have this brush out and it is not with the lid on it. So I have this actual Kolinsky Sable brush that is a Monument Hobby one that I bought a while back. It is not the same. The new ones I believe are slightly different. I kind of wish that they had sent me them. We didn't ask for them, and I don't need them. I have plenty of brushes. I just would like to see how they compare. But it isn't necessary. I'm not reviewing the products. It isn't nice using sable brushes. They are very nice. Oh, I didn't do that on these miniatures. So one of the things I do, which Adam Smasher, Uncle Adam, on Tabletop Minions Tycoon, he does is he paints it with the black paint, and then he does a final coat with, I don't know if he still does it, with speed paints, with contrast paints. He uses the black Templar, and I really like that method. It's pretty phenomenal. So wow, I mix so much of this paint. I will be using the tiniest amount, but it does do a nice job on the, it does make it like a more durable, slightly durable finish, and it's shinier, but it's shiny-ish, but it's, I usually matte. I actually probably should use a more of a sheen version of the one of the varnishes to coat it so that it's more durable, because I'm sorry, I'm just concentrating when I paint this. So when you use varnishes, the gloss ones are way more durable than the matte. The matte go on thin, So I will definitely do usually multiple coats of that specifically for specifically so that it is a little bit more durable. So let me just see what this looks like since it's not really black, but I've got it on the palette. Wet the brush a little bit. It really can't hurt. It might give it the finish that, I mean, I did add some water to this, so it won't be as the same as just coming out of that bottle, but I'm not worried about the, you know, these aren't going to be on the battlefield next to each other. They'll be on, they're pawns, you know, glorified pawns for board games, so, but some people, you know, they want their stuff to be the same. I was watching another Stolly, I was catching up on Stolly videos on the Tale of Painters. And he was searching for a replacement for Goblin Green, the original one. There's many, including Games Workshop. Citadel has done one semi-recently. And it is not, none of them, there's nothing that matches. It's so insane to me that none of the manufacturers can match that color. I don't know what the story is. We know who the manufacturer was originally. It was HMG or something like that. And they do the paints for, I think, P3 now, and I think they had always done them. I'm not 100% sure they're doing them now because Steamforged owns P3 now. Those sound good too, man. They all really sound good. I think I watched his review of those as well. But yeah, it's, you know, yeah, I'm not painting this. I'm not priming this. Varnishing. Boy, I keep saying prime. But they just haven't figured out there's nobody with an exact match, and even Citadel does not have that match. And when they brought their production back in the early 2000s, maybe 2005, they had some that they produced in China. It was weird. Not all of them, but before that they were manufactured in. Boy, I'm looking for those weird ones I have some of the Chinese ones. Oh, you know what? They're in a bin down here. But for a little while they were made in France, and whoever made I really liked the French stuff. Particularly the metallics were my favorite. Yipes. So this one, yeah, made in China. Good gosh. This is a wash. Still have it. Kind of like this bottle. I don't know if it's better than. I don't know. I feel it's slightly better, but I bet it's not really. But I mean, look at this. It's however many years old. Does not have a date. But it's still fluid. It's a wash, like an ink. I liked their inks too back in the day. I miss those. So yeah, this is 12 milliliters. You know, this is like their smaller bottles of stuff. I know I had some that were made in the UK of these, but these all seem like foundations. I'm sure this is probably a foundation. Yes, it is. Made in China. Yeah, isn't that weird? Made in China. These smelled like house paint to me. I've painted plenty of stuff in our house, and they smelled like house paint. But I sure love those ones. And then they came back to the UK, and I think HMG made their paints for a while, and now it's all in-house. I don't know what they've got going, but that's kind of exciting. But, you know, the one thing that is challenging is they change. So you will have them, and if you are on something, or if you're worried about them matching, I think this is where this all started, you have problems, right? You can't, that's why I just can't worry about it. I did go out and buy, so I did buy some of the shades that they had. So I have some of the larger bottles of the shades here, I think. They're here maybe, yeah. So when they were going out, I knew they were going to be different. So I bought these larger bottles of wow, look at that. The orange is settling, the pigment's settling out. let's see. It's going in there. But I like Seraphim Sepia. It's one of my favorite colors. When they switched, number one, this is a bigger bottle. And, so yeah, 24 milliliters. Wow. I mean, wow, it's not even a fluid ounce, but it's still a lot. I mean, it's twice the amount that was in the, I think the other ones are 0.4, you know, ounces. So I will buy some of that stuff. I think I bought all of them. I did not buy the gloss ones, and I actually like the gloss ones as well. I might have one. This is Reichland Flesh Shade. Look at that one. Needs to be mixed up. But the shades are different. They're not terrible, but they're different. And so, and I don't have any projects that I was specifically trying to keep them on hand, but I do like the Nuln Oil one. The Nuln Oil one, glossy one, is so cool. But it is long gone. Yeah, this is shade Nuln Oil, so I bought that one as well. Probably should shake it as well. But I haven't opened any of those yet. I'm not sure where my other ones are that are open. But some of the things, so it's funny, so they used to, I guess they probably still make them. They had these dry brush paints. The problem is I mean, I thought they were great, but the reality is it's just thick paint, right, basically. But what was really good about that is you put it on and it was pretty dry, so you could get it off your brush relatively easily. Because what you have to do nowadays is you sometimes have to leave it out to dry a bit to use it because it's too wet. And I actually like them being wet. I like them being, for me, close to brush consistency out of the pot. And so yeah, I don't know. Well, there you go. Those, all four of those I think are ready. So let's look at Batman. He's got some dust on him. I do like that the cape looks a little vinyl / leathery like the Tim Burton ones and stuff. So I will probably do that. I think we're going to just put this on here as well. Meaning I will probably come back with a little bit of slightly glossier varnish over that. So I did put that stuff on here, and this is matte and ultra matte, and it's pretty darn matte, so probably a little too much for this. Although this is more fabric-y to me. So let's just do that first. We'll put it on everything, and then I'll do another coat of the other on top of that. Probably do a little bit of a gloss as well on the medical spotlight. Medical? Did I say I meant metal spotlight. It's medical. Yeah, I don't like leaving them out. You know, they get dusty. It's not terrible out here, but it's not great. I mean, in the house it's terrible. I mean, we have the AC going, and no amount of filter changing keeps it from getting dusty in there, pretty much. But yeah, it's cool. That one, it's neat. It's not entirely necessarily done, but it's done enough. I should go and do some of the fluorescent on here, but it's not necessary. It's not like I'm going to have black lights on. It is 7:10. Well, let's get this guy done at least. So I really do like the AK Interactive varnishes. They must make a gloss one. I don't have it. I would like to have it, but I don't need a gigantic bottle of it because I don't use a lot of... actually, I think this is the thinnest one. It's so bizarre. Anyway, I don't use a lot of gloss, so I have... what is the one? It's not here. Lamian. That's a medium. That's a regular paint medium. No, what is their gloss? Oh, Ard Coat, I think. That may be the old name. But I don't need a giant bottle of this. I don't know where I'm at on these. Yeah, this is the Ultra Matte, which is like my favorite, and I've used a fifth of it. It looks like this one is the thickest one. I've used a quarter of this one. This is the matte is the least, quarter of this one, and then even less of the satin varnish because it's one it's pretty shiny. I like the gloss for like gems and eyes and stuff like that. So I think I'm going to put 1 drop of satin. Let's see, this is a new mix that I'm going to be doing. Let's see, this is terrible. And I wipe these down before I close it up. I don't varnish, spray varnish that much, but I want to, and I don't want any dried chunks in the paint because just the tiniest amount in there will kill your, not ruin it, but just kill your project. You have to clean the brush out. There we go, there's 1. Looks kind of like, can you see it? Yeah, it's barely there. Wow, I can barely see it, but it's there. Looks like white glue. But yeah, it means varnish is coming out and paint is coming out and it's drying in there, and that's just depressing. I don't want to deal with that. And I say we'll just do the matte here, not do the ultra matte. Because I think we're going too far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 to 1. That seems like a lot, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll find out. This may be what I did on the D&D minis, the Horrified D&D. I hope not. Seems pretty thick though. Let me just do the cape first and see if this is it, because it'll dry pretty quick. Trying to be good about putting stuff back in the rack though, so that I'm not, so this is 6 to 1, I should take notes of that. I'll come back and listen to it. Oof, I almost stuck it in the black paint. Not good. And it's not black paint, it's another contrast paint, but boy, I've got to turn that away. I keep going in there. This is a little thick, maybe too shiny. It is pretty good at leveling, but when it's this thick, I'm nervous about it. I do not know what to deal to thin varnishes with. Maybe just water, but I try to use actual thinners. You know, they're not really thinner, but like the airbrush thinner from Vallejo. But you know, this is a different brand. Now, they're both Spanish companies. They could be made by the same company, but I don't think so. It is amazing how many great Spanish paint companies are. Now, Army Painter is not Spanish, but some of their paints are made in Spain. And it's great, you know. And I love Vallejo, and some of the AK Interactive stuff that I've actually used, and MIG, what was it called? Man, they're all Ammo MIG, which is former, I believe, people that used to work at AK Interactive. It's a little shiny, but it may be the right sheen for this cape. This has a distinct scent too. Makes me feel like, I mean, I don't know, it's not house paint. I saw somebody painted this blue, this mini. It looked pretty good. I was not going to do that. I was definitely going for the Tim Burton Batman kind of stuff. You can see how quickly it's drying. It has definitely more of a sheen. But that's okay. That's what I about the level of shininess I wanted for the cape and the cowl. I guess I'll do the inside of the cape too, even though it could be like a satin finish inside there. I don't know. I don't remember what they did on the movies. I think I wanted to go with a more a flat finish on the interior. I would think he might make it like a nylon or something. Ugh, putting on some more. Not a bad thing, but you really need to wait a little longer to do it. Okay. So that is enough for now. Actually, you know what? I will use it on the spotlight. It is enough of a sheen for me. It will knock down the metallic a little bit, which is unfortunate, but I love seeing people figure out like things about like real world, putting a little bit of real world into their painting of the minis. It's been fun following that stuff on Reddit. Like one of the things that somebody did was exactly what I was thinking, is that the light should be glowing out of these vents here, at least the front ones. Back ones might not have any of that, or not much light coming through. I was going to do it, and I was like, I don't want to do it. And then I saw the guys, I'm like, oh my gosh, I kind of want to do it again. But I don't, it's not necessary. But the real world stuff is cool. So I want the ground to probably be more matte. So I will come back to that. I'm kind of a little sloppy here, but you put you could pretty much do the whole thing in like a satin, and then come back and do the matte finish ones, but I tend not to do that. I was saying how Nikki wouldn't want to go, and I definitely wouldn't want to go without her. We had a couple. Now I was with Scott and Michelle. I don't know that I've been to Spiel by myself. I don't think so. I know I wouldn't enjoy it. I went to Gen Con and in 2021. I think that's right. Yes. And it wasn't as fun. Not having Nikki there is not fun. Plus, it's not, you know, one of the things about travel is I've done travel. I've been to Europe myself, Europe by myself. And it was fun, but different, you know what I mean? I wouldn't want to do it that way again. At the time, nobody wanted or needed to go to Europe. I was actually going to school one of the times. I was going to school one of the times, and so I it's not sticking on there very good. This is I think the poster tack or whatever kind of stuff from Redgrass that they gave me on that one. It may be getting tired. But yeah, nobody needed to go at that time. And it wasn't cheap. But yeah, I went to school over the summer when I was in college. It was great. It does look like the animated series, for sure, Bishop Aries. Cirque, 92, although Keaton didn't seem to like the same Bruce Wayne. Didn't seem like the same Bruce Wayne or Batman. I like the 92 one, though, as well. How would you rank the Batmans? Well, I definitely like Keaton. And I was one of the people that thought, wow, that's a weird choice. But I wasn't also, like, you know, freaking out, because I really like Michael Keaton. And he ended up being great. I also, I mean, is not as great as that movie was. I liked Clooney. Really liked Val Kilmer. I don't know that he was great as it, but I like Val Kilmer, so it was awesome. I don't mind Christian Bale, but he kind of plays that part a lot now. You know, just the raspy voice and stuff. I actually enjoyed him as Gore in the Marvel. Was one of the things I really liked about Thor, Love and Thunder, because I didn't really care for. It's okay. I mean, as much as I love Taika Waititi, I just was like, this is kind of aimless. But it's not terrible. I definitely would watch it again, but I thought he was kind of interesting. And I felt, you know, you kind of feel for his character. But that was awesome. But yeah, I mean, of course I love Adam West. I think I've covered them all, right? Val, Michael Keaton. I have not seen Robert Pattinson's Batman. I would like to see that one. I just, you know, I'm kind of like burned out on all those things. They're not terrible. I mean, I still see most everything. I actually like Ben Affleck too. I wished he had done. I'm not sure about the Zack Snyder stuff, but it was okay, and I thought it was fun. In the not Joker, in the Flash. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it. It's not that old, but there was some great kind of stuff in there. Yeah, I feel, you know, I don't think Affleck really felt like he missed out, but I kind of wished he had had a full-on Batman. But yeah, it was. I kind of would have been more of a DC guy. I'm not that much of a comics guy in general, but at least, well, I mean, I really haven't. I don't read them. Nikki goes and actually buys them and reads them more than I do. But I do like I've said this many times, I will get the anthologies or the, you know, kind of thing where, because that's part of the problem why I'm not a big comic fan. I'm probably more of a story guy in those cases than, even though I love the visuals, I want a little more of that, I guess. Boy, it's challenging. So you don't necessarily need to go in there and get all that because you're not going to touch it. This is affecting the focus. His glove should be shinier, I think. But I actually, in The Flash, I liked Michael Keaton in the alternate universe Batman. It was cool to see him playing the part. I know people don't like The Flash, but I think it's fine. I'm somewhat of an easier audience than some folks, but not always. I can be a grumpy too. Oh, you know what? I did not cover his hand. So he's gripping his cape, which is amazing. And I was going to do his thumb in a different sheen, but I'm like, oh, well, it's going to be. So that looks pretty good. I think that has the appearance of that kind of vinyl-y thing that they had going on. That really seems like there's a piece of something stuck underneath that. Yeah, whatever. You can touch it up with a little bit of black. I want to do the Batman logo on the bat signal. Even though you wouldn't even be able to see it, it's too dark. These are fun to paint, man. This size is just great. It's a little big. And I feel like they've gotten only bigger each time. You know, it's like the creep, size creep like GW has with their minis. Like the Marines are so gigantic now. I have this tiny little elf here, the Eldar, excuse me, that I just kind of chuckle at. Now, I mean, it's a power armor, I get it. But I think Eldar are supposed to be tall as well, so I feel like, now, you know, the mini that I'm looking at is probably from 98 or something like that, designed in 98. Is it already? Ooh, it's kind of fallen off again. Kevin Conroy. Which is that a TV series Batman? I don't know that I know him. How long does the varnish take to dry? It's actually pretty quick. I definitely go for like overnight to really let it dry, but you could pretty much handle this stuff and probably do another coat in less than, it depends on where you're at. I'm in Southern California where things dry pretty quickly, but it's to the touch right now. Now it's probably not 100% cured, you know what I mean? You really should let things go overnight to cure. But But I'm gonna look up Kevin Conroy. I don't watch the TV series. I don't watch a lot. I mean, I've watched most of the Marvel stuff on Disney Plus. I did not watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Nikki did. She says I should watch it. It's just one of those things where it's an investment. You know, those are probably 10 or 15 episodes per season, at least. And most of the stuff I watch is like a half an hour long. That looks cool. Varnish is helping too. I actually really like the cape. It's not great as far as my paint job, and I had something. I think there was a blob of paint when I was painting it. So I want to paint his face. I will probably do a slightly matte version. I want to let it dry a little bit though, because I have to handle the base. Well, I don't have to handle the base if I have it attached. So let's look at Harley. I definitely want the smoke to be, or the dust to be matte. I want her to be kind of matte. Really, only the metal is the thing that needs to be. Oh wait, let me try. I have that brush out. I did. Where is it at? Isn't that funny? It's red. How could I? Oh, it's falling down through here. Wow, it has evaporated though, the little droplet of water I had here. Interesting. I'm like having it more. It's not really helping. There's like I don't know if it's a shadow or something, but maybe it just needs to be white for her teeth. I feel like she almost looks like she has a missing tooth, not a broken tooth. So let me get a little bit of regular white. Oh, of course. I can understand that. I forgot about the Mark Hamill in the animated series. That makes sense. That's pretty amazing. So I like him. I think he's good. I love Batman the Animated Series. But I haven't watched those in a long time. Yeah, it shows you how much I paid attention to that. And I usually am pretty good. I didn't have a phone in my hand when those shows were going on, like I do now. We were watching the Escape from LA and gosh, what's her name? Michelle. Oh, I don't remember her name. She was. I'm like, hey, Nikki, isn't that the lady that was the commander of the Pegasus in Battlestar Galactica? And it was, and so I looked her up, and she's been in all kinds of stuff. I am making a mess. So let's see if I can clean it up. It's almost like you really shouldn't bother with it unless it looked like she had a missing tooth. Now Harley might have gotten into a fight. I don't want to rub too hard to take off the paint. Okay, now I got to put a little red on. This is the battle that I get when I try to do this stuff. It's not worth it. I don't remember which red I used. I will use this one though. Is this Battlefield 6? What is Battlefield 6? YCR, how you doing? Ugh, paint on the palette, or on the wet. It's the whole point of this, but I don't know what I'm worried about. Okay. Her smile looks better. I should be using this brush. This is a 0. This is almost small enough, like I was saying the other day, that our friend Sebastian saves basically like almost single hair brushes to do like little detail markings. So this one's not that small, but it's pretty small. Very cool. Her mouth looks better. It does not look like she's missing a tooth. I just started to get into Warhammer. Oh, thanks so much, YCR. I love Warhammer 2. It's great. I have not played standard Warhammer or 40K in a very long time. But I would love to. I played Warhammer Underworlds. That is fun and quick. But honestly, probably only about 10 times. Which isn't enough for considering how much Warhammer Underworlds I have. But what I love about Warhammer Underworlds, and I don't feel there's a 100% analog equivalent in 40K. Kill Team's close, but I still feel like there's more troops. Warhammer Underworlds gives you basically 4 or 5, 3 to 5, let's say, units. I don't remember how many orcs there are. I think it's 4 in a warband, and it's such a doable level of commitment, and I think it's really worth it. Gosh, and you know what? Now I'm remembering it. Kevin Conroy. I'm glad you brought that up. Just like Bob Ross, your paint streams are very relaxing to watch. Do you have other minis planned after these? So I was saying earlier, I will probably do. I had very, very nicely some folks from AMP, Atomic Mass Games. Hey, that's not the right one. Atomic Mass is has taken over most of the, like, one of the examples is I have a bottle with these things in it. Why am I not seeing it? There are Asmodee's kind of a miniature brand. So they have Shatterpoint, Star Wars Shatterpoint. They have Marvel Crisis Protocol, and they have Star Wars. It seems like I can't remember. I have it. It's not Legacy. So they focus more. They took over that stuff from Final. Oh, there it is. From Fantasy Flight Games. I was going to say Final Fantasy. That is not right. So they brought that over, and they took those over and started the new ones. I think Crisis Protocol and Shatterpoint are both Atomic Mass creations. But yeah, I want to paint those. So they are assemble more, supposedly, more like, and I'll open some of this stuff on the stream soon. Once I finish these, I have 4 more of these to finish. I have Catwoman, I have Star Wars, Superman, Bound or whatever he is. I think Poison Ivy has him under control. And I have Robin, and I have, what is her name? Character I did not know. See that little hole? I think this happens on a lot of these minis. It's like maybe injection point or something. And I generally let it go, but I think I'm going to try to fill that one this time. But yeah, so I was hoping they would send me some of the Shatterpoint stuff. It's fine. I was not specific, and it really didn't matter. But I will be painting some more Marvel with those. And I would like to get, I think there's a, one of the expansion packs for Shatterpoint is the Inquisitors? Is that what they're called? I mean the Jedi Killers. And I would like to get some of the others. Probably Ahsoka Tano. I don't think that she might be in the main box. Actually, let me look. Nikki loves Ahsoka Tano. I would actually like to let her paint that. Let me go to... Let's look at it here on BGG. Crisis Protocol. It should be Marvel Crisis Protocol. The minis are phenomenal. I've seen them many times, and they look really cool. So there's the wow, 6 years ago. Holy cow! Earth's Mightiest Core set. So that's the one I have. Oops. And I went to the other one. Punisher and Taskmaster. I should be using the mobile app. Earth's Mightiest Core set. Why am I looking at that? I can look at that and see what they have. But I meant to look at the Star Wars stuff. I mean, they look great. But, you know, I've already been painting some of these in the Marvel United stuff now. That's more, you know, standard proportions, so it'll be fine. But let me go back to Shatterpoint. I'm sorry. I think she's in that one. I mean, everything looked good. The terrain looks great. Oh my gosh, what was the one I saw the other day? Might have been I'm Not a Jedi or whatever. Oh man. Too tiny. I really should be using. Oh man. There we go. This looks like the set. It does have Ahsoka Tano. It also looks like Darth Maul. Oh wow, Asajj Ventress. Wow, so this is going to be a pretty great set. I need to get it. Got some Mandalorians. Maybe I can see a better version of this image. But I'd like to do this on, bottle of paint right next to me. It's in my holder, but you know, can't be stupid. Wow, it's not loading very well here. Oh, there it is. Is there a larger version of it? Come on. That's okay. So yeah, there's quite a few minis in there. So it's going to be something like that with Crisis Protocol as well. It's 4, 7, 12, 16. but they are unpainted and unbuilt. It's in German there. But that'll be cool. It's got Anakin. Does it have Obi-Wan? Yeah, Obi-Wan? No. It's got somebody, it looks like another guy, must be with a jetpack, so. Got some droids. But they have some great stuff, and I want to get them. That's 2 years old now, too. So, yeah, all cool stuff. I guess I should be done for the day. Thanks so much, Bishop Aries. Eckstein all the way. Oh, she's great. I love Rosario Dawson, so I'm cool with that, but I agree. We love the Clone Wars series, and it was great, but I think Rosario Dawson is a pretty good choice if you're going to go with a big-time actress. I don't know that, that show was not great. But man, we loved Clone Wars. We loved Rebels. Rebels was not so great at the beginning, but it ended up being really great. I just closed those chats. What a knucklehead I am. Let me do that again because I'm wrapping it up. So if you want to join, I'm going to try to find somebody to raid. And let me do this. I really appreciate the chatter and people tuning in. It's pretty great. I will probably be painting again on Tuesday, and we'll do, because we're going to get back into the swing of our regular schedule. Oh my gosh, Cirque, I absolutely watched I think those final 3 were some of the best Star Wars ever. It was really great. The composer, Kevin Kiner, is that his name? The music was amazing. I mean, it sounded Blade Runner-y, but it was amazing. And worth it. Worth watching. I don't think that I have them. Yeah. It was great. I love seeing the other angle of the whole thing. It was so good. We were freaking out. I mean, we were really sad when Ahsoka left the series. We were just so crushed because her character is just great. And it's funny. So in a rewatch, I felt, so when we first watched, I got, this character's so for the kids. And in the rewatch, I'm like, what was I thinking? This really isn't yes, it's a young character, but it didn't feel like it was for the kids. Now, again, who knows? I'm not a young person, so I don't know how those felt, but I'm sure they enjoyed them. It wasn't like kids couldn't enjoy them. But yeah, we were crushed when she left. I was like, wow, what a bummer. And then the series ended. Basically, there was like a kind of a aborted season 6 that was sort of pretty good. And then they came back and just blew us away. There was some stuff, again, not horrible, but not great in that final season. But man, those final 3 were so good. So good. Really, really worth the watch if you guys ever get on Disney Plus. We keep making, the Clone Cruiser, that was great. And Darth Maul, coming back. Even though I was a little frustrated with it, that plus the Rebels finish for that character, whether he's done anyway, of course he's not, but was still great. And I don't know, I'm an easier audience for those things. I'm not as frustrated as some people get. I think they're worth it, and they're fun to. There's something out of everything. Even what was the other one called? Star Wars Resistance, which was not a great show, but it wasn't awful. And I think it only did like 1 or 2 seasons. But yeah, I'm a fan of most of the movies for the most part. I did not love Rise of the Resistance. Is that what it is? I can't remember. I've watched it a couple times. I own it, so I bought the box set of all that stuff on 4K, so I own it, and it's not like I'm gonna get away from it, but it's not great. But that's just me. others maybe like it. I thought the Ryan Johnson was very good. Anyway, let's see if we can raid somebody here. Hopefully it's not too late. It is nearing 8, is it not? It is. I am not on the right tab, I don't think. I never am. I get on it and then I somehow get off of it. Creator dashboard, maybe? Let me cut to me here. That is not it. Stream Manager. It feels like it's deeper into the stuff. Yeah, it is. Than it used to be. I could be wrong. But yeah, that was a great show. I loved all of it. Bonds has been going for over 2 hours. Let me click on the people that we're following. Man, there's nothing. Go back. Derek is very particular about who. Oh my gosh, who he goes in. I think it's because they're worried about like if it's cussing and stuff like that. You know what? Bonds is playing Vantage. She's got a bunch of people watching. That's pretty great. So we'll rate her. Say hello if you want to follow through on there on Twitch. YouTubers, I'm sorry, we'll just end it up here. But say hi to Bonds for me. And if you want to click on through, if you're watching, that's great. Got a couple raters. Hey, 4, 6. Okay, well, there's a few people watching. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. Thanks so much for the chat. You guys have a great one. And I'll see you later. And YouTubers, thanks so much as well. Thanks for being here. Thanks so much for watching. You guys have a great weekend. And enjoy yourselves. Hopefully you have some nice